minutes but you're craving dessert, then you should make one of my paleo mug cakes. You can make matcha, chocolate, or vanilla. And no microwave, no problem. You can also make it in an oven or an air fryer too. In a measuring cup, add 3 tablespoons or 21 grams of superfine almond flour. Dun, 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 dun. And the other 2 dry ingredients are to put in 1/8 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Whisk this together really well. Oh, and of course the matcha. How could I forget? Let's put in 1 teaspoon of matcha. I like to use Breakaway Matcha Culinary Reserve. Not anything super fancy, but you want a high quality matcha if you want it to be nice and green when it comes out. So whisk it until it's all uniform. And then to this, you're gonna add a tablespoon of avocado oil, or melted ghee or melted coconut oil, it's up to you. Tablespoon and a half of maple syrup, or a tablespoon and a quarter of honey. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Crack in 1 large egg. And then whisk really, really well. Make sure there are no lumps, it's super uniform, the egg is fully distributed, there's no almond flour in the corners, that is unmixed. Should be a little bit ribbony when you're whisking it. And be aggressive. Don't just use a spoon and do it. Like, definitely use a whisk if you've got one. And some elbow grease. Alright. Grab a 6-ounce cup or up to 12 ounces. Just make sure it's microwave safe. And pour this in. Make sure there's no almond flour in the corners. I kind of see some. So I'm using my whisk to kind of get anything that's unblended mixed in. And pour that all in. See, you can see some in the corners. So just make sure you're making sure that everything is well mixed. That can be the difference between a nice, spongy, light cake and something that kind of pops up and deflates. Right, and then you take this to the microwave. So we have an older microwave. It's 900 watts, and at 900 watts, 1 minute and 30 seconds is a perfect amount of time. Adjust accordingly, of course. Stick your cup right in the middle, because that way it hopefully will rise uniformly. And then cook it. Look at this pretty cake. And it is super hot when it comes out of the microwave. But it has a really great lift, especially if you've got a little 6-ounce cup. Let it cool for a little bit. So let's say you don't have matcha, no big deal. You can totally make a vanilla or chocolate version of this mug cake. Same base, 3 tablespoons or 21 grams of almond flour, 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda and salt. And then depending on what you're making, you can add a tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa for the chocolate version. But just like the one before, you want to whisk together your dry ingredients. For the vanilla version, same base. Almond flour, salt, and baking soda. Whisk it together. No other dry ingredients because you're going to add vanilla extract. A teaspoon of that because we're making a vanilla cake. Sometimes it's lopsided, and that's okay. You can eat your mistakes. All right, so for everyone who doesn't have a microwave, you can totally transfer the batter to an oven-safe ramekin like this, and you can bake it in your toaster oven, 350 degrees for about 18 to 20 minutes. This one I did in my air fryer, but it kind of exploded a little bit. 325 degrees for about 13 to 15 minutes. The texture is a little bit different. Like, I'll show you a matcha cake I made earlier. It is super, and it pops right out of the cup. It is super nice and spongy, and it's tender and delicious. So you guys should totally make this. Chocolate, vanilla, or matcha. You can top it or not. It's delicious.